What's up, Recovery Warrior family? Jay Rizzo here. My brother Anthony is blessing us with his presence today. So I don't know if you guys watched his other video. If you did, or if you did not, I'm going to put it in the description so you'll know who he is. It's been a while since I've been on. Just living life, man. Like going through, I don't know, not so much as troubled times, but just going through life in general. So you know how that goes.
Oh, I know.
Yeah. So I started a new job and it's going good. I work at a treatment facility and
Me and Rizzo work at the same treatment
Yeah.
facility.
Anthony's got the position that I hold too. We both deal with addicts in recovery
It's fun too.
at the treatment center.
Sitting all night with them guys.
Yeah, shout out to those guys. I don't know if we should shout them out, you know.
Probably should keep it hush hush.
But yeah. So the videos, the reason why they ain't consistent is just because I'm getting back on my feet, so to speak. And then just when you think you're at that level, you know, something happens. But it's just life. You got to deal with it in general. Just stay in prayer. That's what I do.
You get to support Jay Riz on this Recovery Warrior podcast.
Oh yeah.
It's good though.
But
It's
yeah.
a reminder that we're all on a different path maybe in our recovery, but what the reminder that we're all in this together one day at a time.
Yeah. So so Anthony, I had a Facebook post on the Recovery Warrior. I had a few people. I asked them actually some questions to ask you. You don't mind if I ask you, do you?
No.
Okay. But in general, at first I was gonna ask like, how's life been since our last meetup?
Oh, the life's ups and downs, and still sober, employed, and keeping gas in my car. And
Yeah. Yeah.
the back and forth of life,
Oh,
the
I know.
ups and downs.
Yeah.
It's funny though, like the longer I look back on when I was new in recovery, and it was like a roller coaster. It was like, and like after sticking around long enough and staying spiritually fit, like one might say, in regular prayer and talking to others in recovery regularly, and supporting others in their recovery, it's almost like kind of plateaus a little bit. So like instead of going like this, it's more like this. Sometimes there's a little higher, but for the most part, it's kind of just trying to find that balance of recovery, and life on life term stuff, because man, life can get tough real quick. But I know picking up will make it 10 times harder. I know that for a fact. I was visiting with some guys in a meeting the other day, and they were saying that they were having using dreams.
Mm-hmm.
And I was like, yeah, it's usually alcoholics and addicts. That's a common thing to have using dreams. I don't know too many people that are like not addicts and alcoholics that have using dreams. So kind of
I think
sense.
when I first had a using dream, it kind of messed me up because not so much as made me feel like I fell off. I was just more or less confused because I missed that feeling, you know?
Well, I like to look at it kind of like a using dream is like a freebie, and
There
you
you
don't
go.
have to start your
Yeah.
recovery date over.
That's the way I felt when I woke up. Like, fuck.
Oh, it's nice. I didn't use.
Yeah, I
and
woke up. I was in my bed. I was still clean and sober, and I was like, "Dang, that's so vivid and so real."
Yeah.
And then I took it to a meeting once. I took it to a meeting and I told him about it. And Ryan B out there, he heard my share, and then I think there was a book on one of the tables, and he was, as we were going around sharing, he's like, I noticed him. He's going through this book,
Yeah.
and then he's like, "Check this out, J Riz," and I looked at it, and it wasn't a 12 by 12, but it was a smaller book. I don't know if you guys know what I'm talking about, but it was describing using dreams in the program. It was in that book. I don't know. I think it was I don't know what kind of book it was. It was, remember how you go to meetings? It was at Cap City in Bismarck.
Like a living sober? Or?
Yeah, they had like, remember they have all those books on the tables
Yeah.
where the guy chairs? It was
Mhm.
in one of those ones, and it explained using dreams to a T. You know, I was like, wow, that's cool. And I didn't know he was doing that. So when I read it while everybody else was sharing, like, wow,
Yeah.
that's awesome.
Yeah.
So just by me having a using dream didn't make me feel like I failed or fell off. It was just kind of like I missed that feeling. Then I was glad I didn't use, you know, like it was just a reminder. Because I've had more than a few now,
Yeah.
since I've been clean and sober.
They are vivid.
Yeah. I've actually had one a few days ago and it was weird. Really weird.
Kind of reminded you of the old days.
Yeah.
Reminded you of what it was like back then, all the chaos and stuff. Was
Yep.
it chaotic?
Yeah, the turmoil.
Yep.
Just ugly. Ugly but cool because you were doing it at the time.
Yep.
You know, I don't know if you know. I don't know. Like, okay, I'm gonna ask you a question. What about dreams? What do you interpret dreams as?
Subconscious. I don't know. When I was using, I didn't have very many dreams. It was almost like my higher power wasn't able to show me stuff as clearly. It wasn't until I got sober that I started to really see things a little bit more clearly, especially dreams. Was able to remember my dreams. Some of them were, I think, were telling me something, like reminding me or showing me in the direction I'm going is either.
Really?
Yeah, I think so.
Did you? Have you ever had a dream that came true?
Well, I've had thoughts about people. Like I've had thoughts about people that I hadn't seen in a while, and then randomly they show up in my life.
In the day?
Maybe not the same day, but in the near future. Yeah.
Dang.
I don't know. I was just like so aimless in my using days. Like I had a hard time um, following any direction. And as I got kept sober and stayed sober, I found that my direction was a little bit more guided
Yeah.
and more I seeked out like kind of what my higher power was trying to show me. You know, like whatever it was he was trying to show me.
Huh.
And guidance.
Yeah.
And also from others too. Maybe those people that I was thinking about.
Yeah.
They came into my life and were able to like teach me something that I needed to know.
Do you think?
And I usually remind those people when I see them. I have been thinking about you.
Really?
Yeah.
Like a subconscious reality almost.
I don't even know. It's cool though.
I was thinking about that. Like I was watching something on YouTube about. I don't know, just like inner dimensions and you know, I don't know. It's really complex. Just thinking of like almost like a 4D, 5D, you know, dimension wise.
Yeah.
Like the travelers and stuff that come and go, you know, and then there's only because our mind is so simple, you know what I mean, to a point,
Yeah.
you know, because we have transistors and little weird old things in there, you know what I mean?
Well, you know, one of these dreams I had, a member of the rooms, their mother passed away, and like I hadn't talked to this gal in a long time, but you know I see her around, and I was like, I had a dream about her mom. Never met her mom,
Really?
but I recognized her because of like pictures and stuff, and she's like, you need to help my daughter with learning how to smudge and go around sweat lodge and stuff. And I was like, what the hell?
She said that to you in a dream?
Yeah, in a dream.
What the hell?
So then I mentioned that to her, and she's like, yeah, I've been interested in going to sweat. I've been interested in smudging more often. And she's like, that's cool.
Yeah.
Oh, and my father, when he passed away, there was a member of the rooms that shared with me that he seen my dad in a dream, but he was with somebody, like a little boy, and they were holding hands, and he didn't know if he was coming forward or backward.
What?
And I was like, you know that me and my wife lost a child, and my dad's obviously with our child.
Mm-hmm.
That made me and my brother just cry, man. Just the idea that you know my dad was there with our child that never made it.
Yeah.
So that it was comforting, and at the same time it was like, man, like it's crazy.
Yeah.
In those dreams, when other people have dreams like that, I feel like they don't feel like they shouldn't share it with me about that. It was almost like they felt drawn to tell me about that dream.
Weird.
Like they were like, I
Like-
should probably tell Anthony about
like
this
cool.
dream that his dad came to me. I was like, what the hell? My dad was a pretty spiritual guy too.
Was he?
Spent a lot of time in his shed in the backyard. He'd be singing
Yeah.
and he'd be smoking his cigarettes and
You remember that?
yeah.
Would you go bother him?
Sometimes. Not all the time, but sometimes I go back and visit with him.
Yeah.
He'd be telling me about stuff that he was thinking about. And he wasn't like a reclusive person. He liked being around people, but he enjoyed his time by himself. He liked to drink too, man.
So he was out there drinking.
Yeah.
Get out of here, little shit. No.
No, I was older.
Oh.
I was sober.
No.
No.
Still though, I know what you mean. That's
He liked his little space back there.
his little man cave, his little man shed.
Yeah.
Yeah. So like today, if you ever seen, let me ask you something. Do you believe in spirits?
Oh yeah.
Do you?
Yeah.
Yeah. Okay. Like today, when I hear or see something, I don't get scared no more. Like back before when I was in active addiction, right away I'm thinking the devil,
Or
demon.
something bad's coming
Yeah,
around.
like energy, just ugly.
I don't know. I find that there's certain things that happen on a regular basis, and I believe I got people with me, spirits
Oh, yeah.
with me all the time.
Yeah, I believe that too myself because it's just weird after I sobered up and got clean. It's like my mind opened up to a different reality, a different
Well,
perspective.
maybe
you
it was
know?
like something that we weren't able to see because we were using, and it was always there. But
Clouded.
I've always felt really like spiritually sensitive to things.
You did growing up too?
Oh yeah,
Really?
and I had the same dreams growing up too. A lot of dreams. I don't know why.
Yeah.
I guess I don't need to ask why. I guess just accept it for what it is.
You know now.
Yeah, and today, and sometimes I'll be thinking about something and something will show up in my life that'll remind me like, oh, well,
Yeah.
that's why it makes sense because of that situation, or I was thinking about something and see something that confirms that what I was thinking about is the right thing.
Yeah.
Does that make sense?
Yeah, it does. Yeah, I was thinking. I heard this theory about ghosts. You know, spirits. It's almost like a blip in time, like us guys. Because if you read about ghosts and spirits, you think of they're trapped. You ever hear that term? They're trapped and they're replaying the scenario over and over that they might have.
Or they're like wandering.
Yeah, like they're stuck. You know what I mean? Like they're just in this reality of time. But it was weird because I heard this theory that us as living human beings are just a part of this dimension in time, and in their time they're alive.
Okay.
So like we're cruising and we like actually bump a chair. So to them that chair moves, but they can't see us because we're in a different. You know, we're the ghost to them.
Really?
Which was kind of weird.
That's
you know?
crazy.
Yeah, but
Not crazy.
in their time they're still alive.
Yeah.
But here we are in the same scenario, same position, probably in the same whatever, and we like actually like kick a chair and it moves on it. You know, like, oh shit, I hurt my toe. But then in their time the chair moves.
Yeah.
And they're like, oh shit, it's a ghost. You know, it's just this weird. Like I don't know. It's just more complex mindset for myself today, you know, because obviously I know there was a greater power out there that helped me get better. Then I have to stay connected with that higher power, you know,
Yeah.
because I can't do this on my own. Like this sobriety, this recovery lifestyle, definitely can't do it on my own because I've tried. And every time I tried, I just hit the fan, you know, shit everywhere. Not like that, but you know, shit hit the fan.
It's difficult to stay on a good path without some direction from somebody.
Right.
Whether it be the people that we come in contact with, you get taught a lesson. I guess for me, like I know that today is all I got, and this 24 hours is what's the most important thing to be concerned about, and seeking people out that are good for me in my recovery today, and like coming here today and visiting with you.
Yeah.
I think I was driving down the road. I seen two sets of eagles, and I seen a coyote in the ditch, and he was just wandering around, kind of like back and forth, and he looked like he was really like kind of lost a little
Really?
bit. And when I look at that, I'm like, where am I at in my life? Where am I at in this like idea of walking around in life?
Like you were that coyote
Maybe
wandering.
kind of
Do,
just kind of
for
wandering
frogs
around
or something.
by himself in
Yeah.
the ditch that had been just cut, and just down there looking around for stuff. Maybe he was a young coyote. Maybe he was just kind of playing or something. He was a good sized coyote,
Yeah.
but like he was right next to me on the side of the road. Just he didn't even really pay any attention to me.
He didn't care.
He didn't care at all.
Yeah.
And those eagles, when I first came right before Cannonball, there was one eagle ahead that had something in its claws, and then one right behind it, and they were just kind of gliding along. And I seen that coyote up on top of the hill right before Cannonball. And then right before the casino, I seen that bald eagle up in the tree, and then one coming towards it. They're just mating, doing their stuff. I think they probably spend a lot more time together than we see. And
Yeah.
that one lone coyote, I was kind of wondering where his other buddies were at. Why he was by himself. Why he was in a freshly cut ditch too. Like nothing was protecting him. He's just out wandering around.
Usually they hide, huh?
Usually they're
And
pretty
they're out
sneaky.
at night.
They're usually pretty sneaky, and it doesn't make sense why he would be out there by himself, just wandering around in the ditch with no cover around him, kind of looking lost. I don't know.
Maybe this North Dakota weather is confusing to most of these animals. You know what I mean?
Are we supposed to get snow?
Yeah,
tomorrow?
we're supposed to get snow at least 3 inches
Today or tomorrow?
tonight and tomorrow.
Oh, later on tonight.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I think it's confusing because I've seen a lot of geese come and go,
Yeah.
or coming back.
Well, we were at work, right? And I was wandering around by the gas station, or down by the garbage cans. I was talking to my sponsor, and I looked down, and there's that goose feather, remember?
Oh yeah. Did you find it?
And I picked it up, and then we put it on the pen, so they're using it.
Oh no. Because that night we were waiting to clock out, I put it in that newspaper.
Yeah, someone found it. Put it on a pen.
Because I was lifting up that newspaper and fell out. And
Yeah,
Anthony, he's trying to dry it out. So
they had wrapped tape around it,
cool.
around a pen, so now like we're making phone calls and stuff, we can just
awesome.
have that goose feather on the end. I thought it was kind of a sign, picking up that feather, and I was like, yeah.
There's a
Talking to my sponsor, like,
reason for it.
yeah, I like to look at things that way.
Yeah.
Really keeps life interesting.
Growing up, I had this horrible. My stepdad, he just had his certain ways, but as I got older, I knew he was no good. Anyway, he used to tell us not to pick up feathers outside.
Yeah.
Don't pick up feathers because they have medicine on them and all this and that. Don't bring them in the house. Don't bring sticks in the house. All these rules I had to follow. And then now, it's like feathers are good luck, and it doesn't matter if you bring a stick in. It's just,
So all that time when you were same guy,
yeah,
telling you different things.
Yeah, like.
What the hell?
But come to find out, he's a horrible, horrible dude. He
Yeah.
did bad things, and he's paying for it now. But he just bestowed all these native ways in my head, which just cleared me away from the native.
Yeah, it just made you not even want part of it.
I didn't want nothing to do with medicine, Indian medicine, rocks, and so it just steered me this way. And then I didn't want to go with the church because that was shoved down my throat. So here I am in the middle trying to walk, unaided by any kind of spiritual, religious entity beings.
I always look at, like, I can take a little bit from everybody and learn from
cool.
that. Learn from each and everybody's own way of thinking. Like, I have my own core beliefs, especially knowing that, there is a higher power greater than myself. There's something that put me here for a reason.
When did you learn that? After you sobered up? After you got clean?
I had some really intense stuff go on in my childhood
Oh, okay.
where I was around different ways that brought me to a place like I felt I needed to use. Like
Right.
almost like I was
Yeah.
so freaking like misguided or
Yeah.
thrown to the wolves in a sort of way, kind of like didn't really feel like I fit in anywhere, and I started drinking, and
Make you feel good.
I felt good. It made me feel good, and like I learned later on that like some of the things that were like pushed on me weren't for me,
Hmm.
and I needed to have my own belief in something that was maybe my own beliefs in a way, I guess. Repeating myself, but
Yeah.
learning different ways to live.
You know, what? For me, it was weird because when I started using, I put this substance in my body. Like I had a different mindset. I started getting, I don't know, it was weird.
Mm-hmm.
Like obviously, I know I'm an addict alcoholic, but when I put, like when I smoke some bud, right, I start spinning, and it felt like I was on the zipper. So I like that feeling.
I liked getting
Yeah.
high on weed or when I was younger,
Yeah.
but then it got to the point where like it didn't work for me anymore, and I was just
Really?
getting anxiety when I'd smoke,
Hmm.
and it became such a thing of like it was doing the opposite of what I wanted it to do for
Yeah.
me. Like instead of calming me down, it'd make me all amped up.
Really?
Like with alcohol and drugs, that's as an alcoholic and an addict, when I pick up, it does the exact opposite, I think, of what most people seek out for it. Like most people have a couple drinks, right? And then they calm down. Like I have a couple drinks and I'm looking for the next high. Like I'm seeking out more and
Yeah.
more and yours and everybody's.
Yeah. That's how it was with alcohol.
Yeah.
Like when I first got buzzed up off booze, I was like, man, who cares about weed now? I
Yeah.
love this booze feeling.
Well, I like to mix stuff too. But I also sobered up pretty young.
Did you?
Yeah, I was 23. I sobered up August 18th, 2010. I was 23, and I put down it all. Like I still smoke cigarettes.
Did you relapse
No,
after that?
not after 23.
So you've been clean and sober since?
Yep.
Wow, that's awesome. Hell yeah.
Hell yeah.
Yeah, I'm just starting my journey. I'm looking at 4 years. Still an infant. Still
There's been some
learning.
ups and downs in
Oh yeah,
life, and
you just gotta
like
be.
I've had times where I wanted to pick up. I've found other
Now,
things to.
was that early in recovery, or did it happen more towards the end, like after you got 10 years under your belt?
Seemed like milestones were, or if I was put in a situation where, I felt like I wanted to get high around certain individuals. Like, I don't know, early on I had a lot of temptations come along the way, like family members asking me if I wanted to get high. And usually, like, before I would pick up with them, but for some reason this time I like wanted nothing to do with it anymore. I really had hit my bottom, and like my mental health was so bad that like I needed to be around the recovery scene, but at the same time, if I was around other people using, I just leave the situation or avoid it.
Was that,
Cravings did come though, time and
yeah,
time. Fleeting thoughts, more than likely.
yeah,
For a couple years, those fleeting thoughts would come. Man, I could probably get high again.
yeah.
Probably drink again. This girl ditched me, so maybe I should go get high over it type mentality.
But you didn't.
Romances and finances, and them are the hardest things I think addicts and alcoholics deal with in recovery. Getting your finances and stuff right, and getting into relationships that didn't work out, and
That's true. That's the way I fell off. I was dry for this last year. Last time was 3 years, 21 months.
that's a long time.
Dry, no program, no nothing.
Just
But
just without with the absence of the use
I was smoking Mad Bud though.
the whole time.
Yeah. This dispensary bud, just stupid.
Yeah.
But I've actually when I had started, I have two daughters, right? So when I had my girls, I went on a dry spell for 8 years, 23 all the way up till I was 31. But that whole time I wanted to use.
You had the desire to use
Yeah,
still.
in the back of my mind, I pictured it as a stove, and that pot of whatever noodles in the background there was my booze, my addiction, and it was still simmering. And I kept thinking to my wife at the time, one of these days I'm gonna ask her to use.
Really?
I'm gonna ask her to drink.
You're gonna seek your wife out to get high with?
It was I was back there. One of these days I'm gonna ask her. I woke up like that every day.
Because she was still using?
No,
She wasn't.
we both quit. We met each other at a party.
Mm.
So when she got pregnant, we decided we better quit drinking because that was our thing. We better quit drinking for the kids.
So you always had the thought in your mind that at some point you were going to use again?
Yeah.
And you did?
And I did. And
Yeah.
we hit it hard. Domestic violences, fighting, just wrecking everything. Me and her just went at it, Ugly. And my girls were tiny at the time. And, they unfortunately had to witness all that.
Mm-hmm.
And today I'm just showing cause that there is a way out. There is a better lifestyle.
I did find other ways to escape my mind.
Like
without the drugs and the alcohol. Like I'd be in the casino time and time again, spending money that I didn't have. There was other times where, I'd spend money on stuff I probably shouldn't have spent money on. Probably could have gone somewhere else. Seeking out. I mean, before I met Kelly, I spent time seeking out women and seeking out relationships, or not even relationships, just somebody to spend time with. All of it wasn't like real bad at the time, but
were you seeking attention that you didn't have?
maybe
Is that what it was?
could have been.
Yeah.
But yeah, there's without the absent. I mean, there's times where I've fed my addiction to other things other than just alcohol and drugs throughout this 15 years. There's been times I've been low down, where I haven't picked up drugs and alcohol, but like I said, I found other ways to.
Have you ever given money to a person who you know is gonna go use it for drugs and alcohol? Have you ever?
I'm sure I have.
But you knew.
I knew for sure they were headed to go get high.
Yeah, hey cousin brother, can I get 20? I'm gonna, not actually telling you they're one of the plug, but you knew they were. Would you just give it to them anyway?
Well, there was one time I was working over in Bismarck. I was driving a vehicle, and I had a guy that I knew from before that I've known off and on, and he's walking down the street, and he asked, "Hey, I just got out of the psych ward. Do you have a couple bucks so I can go get a soda?" And I was like, "You know what, bro? Here's 20." And he was like, "Man, thank you so much." I was like, "You gonna go to a meeting today?" He said, "Maybe." So that was an example where I knew, he just got out of the psych ward.
Yeah.
$20 is gonna get him a bottle.
Oh yeah.
So I'm guessing that was an example where he asked for a couple dollars, and I knew where it was going. Just figured, if I was just getting out of the freaking psych ward and I had nowhere to go, and I'd want somebody to hand me $20, whether it was going to alcohol or not. I haven't seen the guy since. Honestly, I haven't seen him around at all.
Back in the psych ward.
He asked me if it was back when I was driving for a nursing home. So yeah, that'd be an example. I had a little extra money, and I knew that this guy was on a bad walk, but I knew that 20, he had kind of had a choice with it. He could have gone to a meeting, or could have went and got a bottle. I don't know what he decided, but I didn't do that as a way of setting him up for failure. I just wanted him to know kind of that somebody cares, because he had nothing to offer me at that time. Absolutely nothing to offer.
You never know, huh? It could either make or break him. Man, this guy give me $20. Go get a sandwich, man.
I think he even asked me to be his sponsor.
I want to live like that guy, Or he could have went and got a bottle. To each their own.
Well, either way, it was kind of that idea that I was willing to help him, even though he was on a bad way.
Like me today too, I don't say no. I can't.
There's certain people that I just know could use that little extra money to get by, and those people regularly, they don't even have to ask me. I'll just say, "Hey, how are you doing? Needed a little help?" And if they need a little help them out. Hopefully, not always monetarily. Maybe a ride.
Yeah.
Maybe go get something to eat, pick him up. There was another guy who just got out of the psych ward, and he asked me, I seen him walking down the street, I picked him up, and I was like, "Where are you headed to?" Like, I don't know, just trying to get into the hospital today, but I've been waiting all this time, and I was like, "Hey, do you need anything?" And I think I gave him some cigarettes, and then I dropped him off down at the mall, and he was like, "Man, thank you. I know, like, you didn't have to give me a ride." And I was like, "Well, man, I love you, bro. I got love for you, man. Stay up." Shook hands, and I hope he's doing better. But I think it's just the idea that we recognize each other as still human, rather than, oh, that's an
Yeah.
addict, or that's an alcoholic. He's on the
Right.
cups, man. He's drinking his cups. He's smoking his shit. Excuse my language, but
Yeah.
like the reminder that, hey, man, I see you as a
Exactly.
human being today. Not whether you're high or drunk doesn't matter to me. It's just that I recognize you. You know,
Yeah.
I think we all need to be recognized.
Yeah.
We need to be brought to a place like, hey, man, I know where you've been. I know what you're going through. Like, how can I benefit? How can I help benefit you towards
Yeah.
doing something, the next right action? Need a ride today, whether you're gonna stay sober or not. It's just the idea, you know.
Yeah.
I'm here for you.
I remember my sponsor said that to me too because I early in recovery, like, I mean, I'm still early anyway. I asked him about this certain situation about almost like what you described, and he straight up told me, he's like, "We don't shoot our wounded." And I was like,
Yeah,
what the hell does that mean?
yeah.
I know what it means now, but when he said it to me at that time, I think I was like almost a year sober and clean.
I can almost guarantee when I see those two guys,
Yeah.
they'll see me in a meeting,
Yeah, I was like, what
and
is,
they'll be reminded
we don't
of
shoot our
when
wounded.
when I was helpful to them. I won't bring
Hmm.
up the situation to them.
No, no,
I'll
no.
just be like, "Hey, bro, it's good to
Yeah.
see you again. I'm glad you made it home.
Yep.
Glad you're done trying to fight this thing.
Yeah.
You ain't gonna go very far fighting this thing. You come to a place where it's ready to do something different, and
Yeah.
nothing changes unless something changes, right?"
I like that. Yeah. I've been hearing that lately. Nothing changes unless something changes.
I'm gonna fill up
Yeah.
my coffee.
Yeah, go for it. Um, so last night I put out a post on my Facebook on the Recovery Warrior. If you guys want to check that out, Recovery Warrior on Facebook, go ahead and hit me a friend request. Um, I got a few people that actually responded to that, and I'll give them a shout out. We'll end our segment on one from each, and we'll ask questions. You know, I think like people. CJ Bear, sorry, you asked us like 15 questions. I'll get to those. Maybe I'm gonna save that, and I'm gonna ask my future guests each a question. Maybe I'll break it up. Those are good questions, but I'm gonna take one from each one of these people, and we'll answer them. And that should be our the end of the show. So CJ Bear asked us, what was the turning point that made you decide to seek recovery? Simplified answer.
Really didn't feel like I had very much options anymore. Kind
Yeah.
of burnt my bridges. Um, Back in my parents' basement. Just got out of a nice apartment and just was desperate, bro.
Mm-hmm.
I was given that gift of just
Desperation.
desperation, yeah.
Yeah. So for me, it was I had nowhere to go. I was living in a car. Same thing, burned all my bridges. I was at the end of my rope. Definitely had nowhere to go. I was getting cold, living in a car. What should I do? I went to treatment. The rest was history. Thanks, CJ, for that question. The next one is from Michael James GS. I'm not going to say the last name. Michael James, you know who you are. Thank you for subscribing. What was the outcome when you finally did stop?
I survived, man. When I finally quit, I had that gift of desperation. Like, all I did was focus my life around recovery all the time. I mean, it took a while. Finally got my own place and started working with other guys and I've been enjoying most days since I stopped.
Yeah,
I enjoy life today.
that's awesome. So for me, what was the outcome when you finally did stop? I opened my eyes to a different perspective of reality. I no longer had to run. I put up my dukes, and went head on to whatever came my way. Before I used to tuck tail and run. I'd be that coyote in the ditch, looking for $1 or two, looking
Yeah.
for a
Yeah.
charbroil, double charbroil. But now I just F it. What's the worst that can happen? I got beat down enough. I don't think you beat me down anymore.
To a state of reasonableness.
Yeah, lost teeth in a way. Yeah, lost teeth. And anyway, so this one goes out to Tyler C. It's kind of a complex question. If you had a slip relapse after doing this interview, or not saying you did or will, but would you be willing to express to me the first few days after that said so-called relapse, and be my guest once again to inform my viewers of how you did it and picked yourself up and started back on that red road?
Yeah. That is a complex question. If I were to slip a relapse right after this,
Yeah.
I just went and tied one on right
Yeah.
after this. I don't know how long it would take for me to get back into the rooms. It wouldn't be, I don't think it'd be a quick back into it. I think if I picked up, I'd probably run with it for a while.
Mm-hmm.
Even knowing all that I know about picking up again, I think that disease of addiction is a lot more stronger within me than I think. I think that disease of addiction is stronger in a lot of us. And if I pick up, I'm kind of at the mercy.
Mm-hmm.
And I think I'd have to be removed from it again, some way, shape, or form.
Yeah.
I don't think it would be as easy as just coming right back here and sharing that.
That's it's for me too. I know that question is for you.
I can't even say like in a humble way. I could say right now that I am not coming right back.
Hell no, me neither.
I might die before I get back.
Exactly.
That's the scary fact of facts and about it.
That's what keeps me on my toes. Like, I need to stay here because
You know what's scary? Like, I heard a guy share one time in the rooms. He was saying, "What happens if I pick up again, and the desire to stop using never leaves, and I'm just stuck in that state of mind of just craving drugs and alcohol, and it doesn't go away. And this is my one time where I don't have the desire anymore."
Yeah.
That's scary, bro.
Oh, yeah, it is. That's crazy. So, Ken said, at what point did you realize you hit rock bottom, and were you powerless to your addiction?
Oh, I honestly realized I hit rock bottom when I felt like I had nowhere left to go.
Yeah, same thing, huh? That's the other question.
Rooms were at the end of the at the end of the last house on the end of the block. Nobody trusted me anymore. I didn't even trust myself. I was lost mentally, physically, emotionally, and spiritually.
I think for me too, it was I was laying on a bed. I had money in my pocket. I had booze left over, and I was laying there, and I could see my heartbeat in my eyelids. I was so sick. And I was like, man, I can't do this no more. I was raised better than this. I remember saying that to myself because my mom raised me pretty good, you know what I mean? Even though I left the house when I was 16, but it's like, man, I just felt something in here that I was better than that. Laying on a bed, still trying to go, but I couldn't. So I just tucked tail and ran to treatment, in other words. So thanks, Ken. The next one is from Garrett LM. When was enough enough? And when you surrendered? So when was enough enough? It's basically the same question. Huh? When was enough enough? Like, you could say that every day, huh?
When is enough enough?
Yeah. I
don't know. I
myself
need to be reminded of my last
Yeah.
use. If they say if you don't remember your last time you used, you haven't stopped using yet.
Mhm.
You're gonna pick up again because there's that constant reminder.
Yeah.
Like this is where I was at, where I don't want to go back to.
I get reminded of that every day. I don't want to feel that again.
With
When was
people
enough?
we work with.
Yeah, everything.
They're great freaking teachers.
Everything, man. I remember like cruising down the road and somebody mean mugs me and cuts me off, or like instantly I get mad. I get resentful. I can't be like that, and it pulls me out of there and it just reminds me of who I am. I'm an alcoholic in recovery. I'm an addict in recovery. I don't live that way no more. Wave at them and have a good day, sir.
Go along.
Love you.
My way. My happy little way.
Yeah. I'm doing good. So Lloyd Big Crow, when did you realize you had the light inside you all along?
when all along I had the fight
Yeah,
within me,
the light.
the light. How long? How well? I guess it started with the way people started to treat me now that I was sober.
Yeah,
Then I started to recognize it through the way that I was being treated by others and how I kind of like demanded some treat ways for people to treat me. Like, I'm sober now. You don't get to come around with that alcohol. You don't get to come around with that drugs. I'm not going to put myself in a situation anymore. I think that's when the light came on for me when I finally stood up for myself.
me too. I believe that truly, because I was my grandma and grandpa, like, they're really legit and just straightforward, and it's like I just couldn't let my family down. I've let them down so many times. It's like I'm better than this. Not so much as my ego's up there, but
Yeah.
I was raised right. You know what I mean? So the light was always in there for me. So Karen LS asks, what circumstances did you face when that ember turned into a flame?
When
I'm pretty sure she's talking about the ember of,
recovery, like
yeah,
where you just
when
started
that little ember
from
turned
that.
into a flame. Circumstances did you
I think it's
face?
my brothers and sisters that I've come across the way that kind of fan that amber into something bigger.
Yeah,
I couldn't have done it on my own. It was the people around me that kind of nursed me into a good place, or like kind of like a fire. You
yeah,
know, you start a little part of the fire, you need a little bit of help,
yeah.
keep it going and into a flame, I guess. Does that make sense?
Yeah,
Yeah.
cool. So Justin M asks, how come we don't have no ears? How come you don't listen? Smacking you. I think that's what it means.
Yeah.
How come you don't have no ears?
How come you don't want to listen?
Yeah, how come you don't listen?
I
Never
know,
learn.
I know better.
Yeah,
I know
I
what's
know.
good for me.
I know.
Sarcastic
Yeah,
as
I
that.
remember in sober living, they're like, they hated that term. I know.
I don't want to hear
I
that.
know. I know. You don't know. Shh. Anyway. So David H asks, does the dopamine flow and the neuroreceptors go on a hiatus when buzzed up? Is that why we are pain free when under the influence of alcohol?
I don't know the chemical
Me
components.
neither.
I
That's
should
what
probably do my own research before I answer
does
that.
the dopamine flow? Yeah, that's just crazy. I don't know, David. I don't know that one either. I guess we're just simplified addicts, alcoholics. That'd be a good Google question though.
Why does it?
Yeah, well,
Yeah,
does
that'd
the
be a good
dopamine
question.
flow? It probably does, I believe, but see, I can't back that up with science. Because I believe in God, I don't believe in science. Nah, just kidding. That's Nacho Libre. But yeah, that concludes our segment for today. If you guys like this, man, I can put on more. It's a little different from chilling on the couch and doing an interview type thing. But I'm just trying something new. New summer coming up. Can't wait to go fishing, get out there and
Heck
stuff.
yeah.
So I was gonna show you guys the shirt. We're gonna have more of these out. So if you guys, if you want one,
Badass.
stay tuned. I got a white one. I'm sure I can make color. I can make them anyway. Not make them, but I can get my homeboy to make them. But those should be coming out soon. Watch for the new merch drop, stickers, whatever have you. But yeah, thanks Anthony for coming on, bro. Always good pleasure.
Much love.
Yeah, me and Anthony work together, so we are in the vicinity of each other all the time. So I asked him to be on this today. More videos to come. If you guys like what you see, hit that like. And if you want to see more, hit that subscribe. It's that simple. Appreciate you guys. Appreciate the questions you guys asked. More to come. Do you have any closing remarks for our viewers out there, struggling addict alcoholics, anybody?
Thank you, everybody, for showing up for your recovery today. And you are a recovery warrior.
Awesome. All right. With that, we will pass. Love you guys. Bye.